Hello there, welcome. My name is Anna if you are new. Today we are not in the garden because we are talking about seeds, which is almost as fun as being out in the garden. I did some seed shopping actually for next summer's garden, so I wanted to talk through with you what I picked and why I picked these flowers and vegetables. I have a really small 20 by 20 urban garden. There's a big chunk of it that has a patio in the middle, so I do a lot of container gardening on that. So I picked some things for containers, and then I also have 4 raised beds, and I have a little bit of in-ground space. So I picked some things for those spaces as well, and I'll talk more about how I'm fitting all of these things into a pretty small garden space. I have some flowers, I have some vegetables, and I actually have some perennials, and we'll go through all of them. You're probably gonna see a lot of cats wandering around here. It's Pan and then Mayday, and when I am on the ground, they need to be involved in whatever is happening. So if you see them, we'll try to keep them out of the seeds because they are always very interested in the seeds as well. All right, let's get started and talk about seeds. So I picked quite a lot of flowers. I found that I end up shopping for a few more flower seeds because I tend to go through the flower seeds a bit faster than my vegetable seeds. Because I have a small garden space, I will do like 1 or 2 tomato seeds out of a whole packet when I start seeds in the spring. So I have a lot of tomatoes in my collection. I have a lot of eggplants. I have a lot of peppers and things. So not all of these seeds, there'll be more seeds that I will probably start in the garden. Like I don't think I bought any tomatoes this time because I just have so many tomato seeds in my collection and I have flowers and things. But I tend to go through like my zinnias and bigger flowers. I tend to go through those packs a bit faster, and so I kind of stocked up on a lot of flowers. And I did go through a lot of my zinnias this year, so I had to pick up some more zinnias. And the first kind that I got was this Oklahoma, oh, there's Pan, down. Okay, Oklahoma Formula Mix. So the Oklahoma Formula Mix, it's a really pretty mix of zinnias that are like pinks, yellows, reds, whites, and they're just nice thick stemmed zinnias that are supposed to be good for cutting. I plan to grow some of these in containers because I do find that zinnias do pretty well in containers. They're really nice, like direct sow container plant. It's kind of hard to find things that you can direct sow into a container and have flowers within a reasonable amount of time, but zinnias, you can do it. And I may also do a section of my garden as like a cutting flower garden. I kind of want to have like one cutting flower bed, so this would also be perfect for that as well. And just kind of like a classic, I think they're like a double zinnia, and just, yeah, kind of classic. I will put in some pictures because these seed packets don't have pictures on them, but really a fun one. And I will direct sow these. That'll be great. I can tuck them into corners. I am going for kind of like farm fresh. That's sort of my like flower color scheme for this year. Think like farm stand bouquet. Last year, this past summer, I did all like apricot, rust tone flowers. Not all, but a lot. That was like I was going for kind of like antique rusty tones. The year before I did a lot of tropical colors, and I kind of went for tropical plants. So every year I like to kind of do a little theme for my garden. And so next year's theme is farm stand, farm fresh flowers. So I'm gonna have the Oklahoma zinnias, which will be bright and really fit into that like just bright, fresh colors. And then I picked up some cosmos. I think cosmos are also like a really pretty kind of, they almost look a little wildflower-y. So they'll be really pretty for that farm style. And then they also are one that I know I can tuck into little corners. So some flowers really need their own individual space. They really need to be grown with enough room. That is hard in a very small garden space like I have. I tend to smash things together. Zinnias do very well closely planted with other plants. They will fight for space. And cosmos do pretty well too. They're not as aggressive as zinnias, I have found, but they will kind of like find ways to grow in and around the other plants. Sometimes they're a little smaller. Sometimes the flowers are a little bit smaller. Sometimes they don't grow quite as tall. my garden doesn't always have the most perfect sun in every space, so sometimes they get a little bit leggy and they get extra tall, but I just find that they tend to like make their way around, and even if the flowers are smaller, I will get some blooms and they'll be really pretty and they're just whimsical. I may put them into that like cutting garden area as well, and then they would get better conditions and hopefully grow more to their correct size and everything. So I've got a few options for them. I grow them sometimes in grow bags or like larger containers. I don't typically put them in small containers, but they do well in like a grow bag with a vegetable or something. I had some cosmos in grow bags this year and they were really beautiful. So I got the Daydream because I thought this was a pretty kind of pinky, whimsical looking cosmos and just really pretty and would just add to a bouquet and be kind of beautiful. And then I also picked the Crest Gold because I wanted that like bright pop of gold coloring, and I thought it would be a really, really beautiful one. I did I think it was the Radio Mix, which is like the orange zinnias, and I really liked them this past year. I thought they were really beautiful. So I will pop these guys in different places or in the cutting area, and they should be really gorgeous. I'm really excited about those. I think they'll be really pretty and just really add to like that farm feeling. A great one for a small garden and a pretty easy direct sow. Another one that you don't have to start ahead of time, which is nice. Although you can start them indoors, it says you can start them 4 to 6 weeks if you want to get started. So I may end up doing that too, but it's nice as well because it's even 4 weeks before the last frost. It's not like 8 weeks. So it's just a little bit easier. One that I will be starting inside, and I somehow ended up getting 2 seed packs of this, is Bishop's Flower. So with my farm fresh theme, I wanted something that looked a little bit like Queen Anne's lace. And so that's why I picked the Bishop's Flower, because it will be kind of like that Queen Anne's lace look. I think I will have to plant this, I think, in the like either in my like in-ground space or in the raised beds. I may try one in a container just to see how it does. I'm not sure if that's going to be an ideal location for it, but yeah, I thought it would, just hopefully do some of those blooms that would, yeah, just give me that like Queen Anne's summer farm look. This one, next one, I'm so excited about. This is gonna be really cool. This is the Datura Ballerina White. It's supposed to be a really great container plant. So I am always looking for container plants. I love to try these things, and it has the most beautiful flowers. It just looks so gorgeous and not exactly farm. This is just for fun. I've never grown this. You start it indoors 8 to 12 weeks before frost. So we'll be starting this early next year, before last frost. And it can take 21 to 60 days to germinate. So it's kind of a novelty, but stay tuned for this one. I think it's going to be gorgeous, and it's supposed to be, yeah, just as I said, just a great container plant. So it's always fun to try those like container plants. That'll be really cool. Then this is, I guess, not technically a flower, but I did get some coleus. This past summer, I grew coleus in and amongst the Black-Eyed Susans and Rebecchias that I have in my like perennial section of the garden, and I loved how the dark color of the coleus really kind of brought some variation and difference. A lot of my garden tends to be really green because I do grow so many vegetables in the garden. So I love that like pop of foliage interest. And so I picked up the Pineapple Sunrise because it had nice, good chunk of dark kind of foliage, and then like the highlights, a little lemon will look really nice. There is a bit of shade over in the area where I want to plant it. It's kind of part sun. So when things are too dark of coleus, I have to watch out because you end up actually not really being able to see it. So I had to pick something. I like that it had the lime green because then at least you'll be actually hopefully able to see it. And another one that's actually really pretty easy to start indoors. If you're into starting seeds yourself, you probably see coleus at the garden centers, but it's one of those annuals that you can start inside, which is pretty cool. Pinetree Seeds has a lot of like annuals that you see, like petunias and impatiens and things. They have seeds for them, which is kind of fun. And coleus, they have a good variety of coleus seeds, which sometimes it can be hard to find the specific varieties of coleus. A lot of times you will see like the rainbow mix, but they have some that you can get different varieties and different colors. And if you're like me, you know, I like to know what I've got for the specific kind of coleus because I have plans for it. Then I got a sunflower, and I don't have a ton of rooms for sunflowers. I have one raised bed where I think I'm gonna do some corn and some sunflowers and try to do like some tall things. And I just thought this was such a pretty sunflower, and it's branching. So because small garden, we're going for as much bang for our buck as we can get. And so we want to make sure that, or I like to make sure that I'm going to have multiple flowers. To have a sunflower to grow it all year and only get one flower, I just like don't have enough room in my garden for that. So I like a branching sunflower, and that is why I picked this. And I just thought it was like the most beautiful color and fit in, I think, with my kind of like farm theme. But you know, you can't have a farm themed garden without sunflowers. So I thought that one was gorgeous. Here's another annual that you usually see at the garden centers, but you can get seeds for, and that is Angelonia. So this is a Serena mix. So there's gonna be like some whites and some different kind of purpley blues. So that'll pair really well because a lot of my zinnia, well, my zinnias and my cosmos, those are all pinks and yellows. And so you need to have some blue in there. I not from here, I think I did order some different like scabiosas and stuff as well, pincushion flowers with some like dark different colors too, some blue and some black. I think, did I order them yet? I may have to go put in an order for those. But the Angelonia will bring in some blue, and I always just try to make sure when I'm ordering flowers that I'm getting all the different colors, because it's so easy to get on. Like there have been years where I just get on like a pink kick, or last year actually it was blue, and I ended up realizing like all I'm buying is blue flowers. All I started from seed were blue flowers, and we need other colors. So this will be beautiful. And I've never grown Angelonia from seed, but I got a bunch of Angelonia starts this summer, and they have done really well in the garden, not been too bothered by pests. They've been really happy. So hopefully we can grow them from seed and they will do just as well. And that would be really exciting. I've also this year found straw flowers and started drying like some of my gomphrena, and that has made me want to do more dried flowers. So I got two different kinds of straw flowers because they are so fun. I have been sleeping on straw flowers. I don't know what I've been doing. I have just not been growing them, but it's always cool when you find something that you haven't been growing. And so the tall I will do in my cutting flower area, and then the dwarf I'm going to try to grow in some containers. The Angelonia does really well in containers. That will be a container plant. I have a lot of Angelonia containers this year, and it's done so well. So containers for the dwarf and in-ground or raised bed for the tall mix, but they're just like a mix of colors, just fun, summery flower colors. So they should be really pretty. And I actually bought a pack of these a few years ago, and I planted them and they came up really well and they were doing really great. And I can't remember what happened. I had to pull them out, but they were doing really well. So I'm feeling hopeful that they will grow pretty well, and you can direct sow them. So I don't know if I will start them inside or direct sow them, but it's nice when you have the option that you are able to direct sow. Some things, you know, you need to start early. Like I think the Angelonia, you need to start early. But I have the option to direct sow this, so that's nice too. Then I did get another zinnia. I stocked up on a Queen Lime Red. I loved the Queen Lime Orange zinnias that I have in my garden, and I like the Queen Lime Reds too. They're really pretty, so I just grabbed another pack of Queen Lime zinnias because, yeah, as I said, I like to tuck zinnias into a grow bag or into a little corner of a raised bed, and it never hurts to have some more. And the Queen Lime zinnias are just so, so pretty. So I went ahead and grabbed those, and then I got some lamb's ear so that I can pop the lamb's ear into just I think like around my my container pond. It would be really pretty to have lamb's ear, so we're gonna try to do some lamb's ear there. Then I got some vegetables. So let's talk vegetables. Okay. I have a lot of, as I said, I have a lot of other vegetable seeds. So this is not all of the food crops vegetables that I'll be growing for next year, but a few, I will be growing these, and I'm really excited about it. So I got some weeby little pumpkins. I'm growing Jackby little pumpkins this year, and the vines are going crazy. They're growing everywhere, but I do see I've got at least 1 or 2 pumpkins growing on it, so I'm excited about that. The weeby little does grow another like 3, I think it's like a 3-inch size, like little round pumpkin, but it's supposed to have like a semi-bush habit, so hopefully it'll be a little smaller. I'm gonna grow it in my 2x4 raised bed. I don't have a lot of space. I'd love it for it to be kind of like a bush style pumpkin, so hopefully that is that's what it is, and we'll see. It says 36 inches apart, so we'll see how it goes. But I want to grow some melons and squashes and pumpkins and kind of focus on them next year and see if I can grow them in my small garden. So we're gonna try the weeby little, and then I did get some Scallop, some Sunburst. This is like one of my favorite squashes to eat. I just really like the flavor. They're kind of like, you can use them anywhere you'd use a zucchini, but they're just like a little bit nuttier and like richer. I can't quite describe it, but they just have more flavor than like a typical zucchini. And I just really enjoyed them. So I ran out of my seeds this year, and I decided to get some more of it, and they're just like a real yummy, delicious, fun squash, and that'll be good. I'm gonna try to grow it hopefully sort of vertically in this melon pumpkin squash bed that I'm doing. I'm gonna hopefully try in the 2x4 raised bed to do one of the pumpkins, one of the squashes, and then a melon, which I think I'm gonna order. I think I ordered the melon from another company. Okay, then I grabbed, so this is another squash, and this is a Tromboneno. I have heard other content creators talking about the Tromboneno. So we are gonna try this in grow bags, and I wanna grow it up over the frame of my unheated greenhouse. If you've seen my unheated greenhouse, I take the cover off, and then we've got like the house frame. I tried to grow birdhouse boards on it last year, or this past summer, and they just didn't germinate. I don't know what happened with the seeds. But these are supposed to be like super crazy viners, just like they grow crazy all over. So we're gonna try and see how they do in a grow bag and see if we can get them going. And then possibly for a grow bag, I just wanna try to get some butternut squash. So I grabbed the butter baby squash, and we'll see if I do this. I might do this in a grow bag. And I think it's supposed to do better in a smaller space. So there are container varieties of some of the squashes, and if you've got a small garden, if you've got like a container garden, look for those specific container varieties. It's just gonna make your life so much easier. And they're starting more and more. I think seed companies are starting to develop varieties for containers. With that in mind, I grabbed the Little Leaf H19 Little Leaf Cucumber. So this is a bush style cucumber, and I think it's gonna be just real cute, like little snacking cucumbers, but I just wanna try some different kinds of cucumbers. I do still love my salad bush. That's like, I will always grow that because that thing produces, no matter what I put those plants through, they always produce cucumbers for me. But I'm gonna do a few, just keep trying out different varieties. So I grabbed these, but salad bush, if you've got a container garden, salad bush are good, and I'm gonna be growing those as well. And then I'm gonna be growing a whole bunch of eggplants, more tomatoes again. I will do more videos about everything that I am growing, but lots and lots of fun things there. I also grabbed a golden Marconi sweet pepper. This is a fun little pepper, just like a nice snacking sweet pepper. I'm not sure if I'm gonna grow it, but I probably will do at least one. And I thought it's golden, so that's kind of nice too, because it just adds a little decorative interest. I did a lot of jalapenos this year, which are really fun, but I actually found we don't eat that many jalapenos, and they're green, and so you know, I don't know. I just wanted to add some, like, this will be a bright, pretty decorative color. And then we tend to eat sweet peppers more. My daughter really is enjoying harvesting out of the garden with me. And she is enjoying eating the fresh food from the garden, which I love. I want to encourage that so much. And so if I can get her to, you know, to be able to harvest some peppers, that would be fun. So I'm kind of collecting sweet pepper seeds right now, and we'll figure out spaces for them. But peppers grow so well in containers. They are such a great container plant. So if you're looking to grow vegetables in a container, I would definitely recommend looking at some peppers. There are container specific peppers that you can get that grow in smaller containers, and then I have some big grow bags, and I'll probably do these in something like one of my bigger grow bags where it has a little bit more space. Then in one of my raised beds, I want to do some corn. I'm not so much growing it for like actually harvesting the corn, although if I get a corn harvest, I'll be happy, but I'm more just growing it as like beautiful, decorative farm look, you know, just growing it for the beauty of it and for the fun of growing it. And if I can harvest some corn stalks at the end of the season and use them in fall decorations, then I'll be happy. Like, that's really all we're trying to do. So I got this corn. I kind of hate the name of it. It's Bloody Butcher, which is like a little bit of an intense name, but it's really pretty red husked corn. So again, that will just add a little bit of color variation and difference to the garden. And I'm always kind of looking for where I can add some foliage color in the garden space because there's so much green. So hopefully that'll be really pretty. And the name is just not the best name. And then I grabbed a few perennial plants. Oh wait, one more annual. Millet. Another, this is the Purple Majesty, a really dark leafed purple millet. I grew millet this year and absolutely love the look of it. It's out there in the garden right now. It's so pretty. And so I actually got 2 packs of it so I can put it in different places. It just breaks up the garden and it looks really pretty and it's kind of fun. And I think it'll add to that, like, yeah, that farm style. I think I'm going to try to grow some of it in some containers. I grew it in the raised bed this year and it did very well. It was very happy in the raised bed, but I think it'll be really pretty too, possibly in some container. So we're going to try to do that with the millet and hopefully get a nice, have a nice look in the garden. And then let's talk about perennials. So I got an Echinacea, kind of just to have on hand. I'm not sure if I want to add more Echinacea to the garden, but I felt like I'm a little low on it. I have so much Rudbeckia and it might be nice to start like 1 or 2 more Echinacea plants for my perennial sections. And then I also grabbed a Heliopsis, Burning Hearts. This I may start for like for friends or something. I don't really need more Heliopsis in the garden, but I kind of just wanted to have seeds for it because I love my Heliopsis plant that I have right now. And so sometimes when I really love a plant, I just like want to have seeds just so I know that, I don't know, I always have the plant. I can always start more if I want more, or if anyone else wants some, I can like give them seeds. It's kind of nice. But because I love Black-Eyed Susan and I have a ton of it, but I did get some more Indian Summer because I transplanted my Indian Summer Rudbeckia, and well, all the other things I transplanted did great. I did not dig up enough seeds or enough roots when I transplanted those plants and they did not survive. So I grabbed some seeds and I'm going to start some more of this and I'm going to try to start it possibly this week actually, and try to do it over the winter in my unheated greenhouse. Typically, I will start my annuals in July if I want them to grow over the winter and then come back up. They'll do fine if they're sprouted and they start growing in July. September, I may be pushing it, but we'll just do a couple and see if we can push the limits with growing perennials from seed. But I have found if you start your perennials from seed in July, you can grow them outside. You can let them winter over. They can be outside over that next winter. And then when you plant them in the ground the next year, they will do beautifully and they will come up and be big, gorgeous second year perennials. I've done this twice now. Started the plants in July, either planted them out in the fall or just overwinter them in containers, and then the next year they've grown up and been great. So that has worked pretty well in the past. I'm going to try it again now, although I think I might be a little bit too late, but we'll see. It's always fun to experiment. And then, not technically a perennial, but a biennial, I grabbed some jet black hollyhocks because those are just really pretty and sweet, and I may get those going as like an investment in 2 years down the road. So those are all the fun plans. I'm so excited. It's a lot, but just remember, I usually grow like 1 or 2 plants from each one, and I do like to pack my beds and my containers pretty full. So although it looks like a ton of seeds, it usually, we make it work. It definitely ends up fitting into the garden. And I will, over this winter, I will do more cohesive like talks about all the different plants that I'm starting and the different vegetables and things. This is a lot of the flowers that I'm going to be starting, but I probably will add just a few other things for the containers. I really want to make it a goal next year to start a lot of my container plants from seed, which is a challenge. And I will always buy started plants from the garden center, and I will always make containers from started plants. It just is so much easier to get a big full container right from the get-go. But I want to challenge myself to keep growing more of them from seed and see if I can do it. So anyways, thank you for hanging out while we chatted about seeds, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.